Hello, everyone. Welcome to Building World Peace, an interview series showcasing modern mystery school initiates from all walks of life who are working on the same mission of building world peace. I'm your host, Ling Lei. I'm a ritual master, a teacher, and a guide in the modern mystery school, an ancient lineage of King Solomon. And I'm super excited to be bringing you this episode today. Today, we have a good friend of mine who also lives in the Bay Area, Lori Tamayo. Hi, Lori.
Hi, Ling.
Yeah, Lori, we have known each other for a few years, and Lori always has the best stories when it comes to her path and when it comes to her service. So I'm excited to talk to her today and to introduce her to you all, to everyone's watching this. Hey, Lori,
Hey,
could
thank you.
you
Thank you so much for having me.
yeah, could you introduce yourself? Also talk to us about what you do, in the corporate world, but
Okay.
also in the healing world.
Okay. Hi. Hi, everyone. I'm Lori Tamayo. As Ling said, I live in San Francisco and I'm an attorney. I've been an attorney for about 18 years. And I'm also a healer, a guide, and a teacher in the Lineage of King Solomon through the Modern Mystery School.
And how long have you been in the school, Lori?
I found the school almost 6 years ago. Yeah.
Could you tell us a little bit about how you got on this path?
Sure. About 6 years ago, I found myself in the throes of a really difficult breakup with a boyfriend I had at the time. And because I was like, so depressed and really desperate for change in my life, I found myself looking to see how I could rebuild a foundation because at the time I didn't know what to do. So I confided in a friend of mine, and she introduced to me someone who could perform a cord cutting, an energetic cord cutting, so that I can separate from the energy of that breakup. And as I was on my way to go see the practitioner, my guide now, as I was on my way to see the practitioner who'd perform the cord cutting, I was looking at the menu of services that practitioner could also perform, and I saw what was called the life activation. And because the claims of what the life activation could do were so awesome, and because I didn't know what it was, I just thought, well, I don't know what that is. Why not? It looks like it could help me. So when I went to see that practitioner to perform a cord cutting on me, I also asked her, hey, can you perform a life activation on me? And she did, and the rest is history. Yeah, that was almost 6 years ago, and my life has completely changed for the better in every aspect since then.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I always love those kind of from zero to hero kind of stories,
Yeah.
where you start off looking for something and you found it, and the rest is history.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, through it, I've been able to help so many others find their way and um, better themselves and their own lives, find abundance in their lives and be more joyful. So yeah, I'm just paying it forward through the things that I've been taught through the school.
Lori, some people who are just dialing in, maybe this is their first episode, they might be wondering, what is the modern mystery school? So I want to ask you if you could explain what it is and also what it is to you.
Sure. So the Modern Mystery School is one of seven mystery schools in the world. And they teach us to know thyself and reclaim our knowledge of our own godhood, and to live through those with those principles in mind, and in doing so, healing ourselves and our separation from God, and also healing the world and facilitating world peace through love and compassion, kindness. So that is what the Modern Mystery School is, and what it has been for me. And through it, I've been able to, you know, increase my awareness of my own godhood, and be able to live a life with more royalty and more the ways than one. And hopefully learning through it, I can also help facilitate world peace as well.
Oh wow, I was going to ask you the next one. So yes, the mystery school mission is to help build world peace. And this whole podcast, this whole interview series is about, how introducing you and everyone to the people who are working on that mission. So, Lori, what does world peace look like to you? Because I think everyone has a different piece in it. So everyone has a different vision of how that looks like. And I would love to hear about you.
So world peace for me, it starts within. So even, I mean, today we have everybody sort of depending on other people to figure out and resolve world peace for them. We're seeing a lot of division both here in the United States and abroad, and it just appears as though the concept of world peace is sort of devolved into dependence on someone else to do it for them or to anchor it onto earth for them. But for me, world peace starts within. It starts with me um, being peaceful within myself, healing my own wounds. And it's through that I can interact with others in a way that is peaceful and loving. And I think that we can achieve world peace if everybody did the same, if they went within first, if they healed whatever wounds they had within. And in doing so also affects the universe outside of them, their interactions, their friendships, their relationships with their parents, their relatives, and it just spreads exponentially to our relationships with people of other countries, creeds, religions, and so yeah, it's really, for me, it's healing within. So the universe outside mirrors back at me my own peace within.
Wow, I love it. Yeah, you pointed out something interesting that, everyone wants world peace, but everyone points a finger to somebody else or to another
Right.
organization, another entity that is stopping world peace. And in doing so, right, they usually do them, especially when you point a finger, it's easy to feel helpless, to feel powerless. And from that helplessness and powerlessness, that come anger, that comes victimhood, and that's no place for peace. So yeah, I think for me that's what I love the most about the mission is world peace is building world peace is a collective work, and it's daunting, to think like why do you think that a few thousand people can build world peace? But the key is you don't just do it from outside, you start from within. And the ripple effect, you can impact your family can impact their associates, their family, and stuff like that. And that's when it starts.
Yeah, I mean, that's, to your point, that's what I love about the modern mystery school is that they um, help me see the world with different eyes. And they helped empower me so that when I wake up in the morning, I have the tools that I need so that world peace starts with me. I'm very much empowered knowing that there is something I can do about it and that it will have lasting effects. So yeah, that feeling of empowerment and seeing the fruits of that empowerment and all the things that I've learned every day in myself and in the relationships I have with others. I just love it. And I cannot stress enough to others how much achieving world peace really begins with ourselves.
Yes. So definitely will please start within.
Yeah.
What are some of the ways, in your whole life, what are some of the ways that you are taking part in this building of world peace, as a lawyer, as a healer? Could you perhaps lead us through, how a few ways that you're doing it?
Sure. So the it is an interesting dichotomy, the fact that I am in a profession, the core of which is really trying to mitigate the risk of a dispute, right? So in the legal profession, in the practice of law, we're always mitigating the risk of lawsuits, the risk of people getting to a dispute, where the risk of people getting into trouble with the law. So there's always that core of risk mitigation, right? And and in law school they don't necessarily teach us that the practice of law is about love and light, right? Which is what the core one of some of the core principles of the modern mystery school is. So for me, you know I have to acknowledge that the practice of law in and of itself, the industry of legal, it's not going to, it is going to be what it is. But what I can do about my own practice is making sure that as I'm navigating the matrix of this law profession, that I'm in my self-centered. So, some of the cases that I deal with, and some of the, like, for example, if I'm in a deal negotiation and it's a difficult one, it's really important to be able to stay centered. So it's not so much that I'm performing light work on the deal itself, but I'm making sure that I am on the middle, on the middle pillar, as we say, in the study of the Kabbalah, where I am, centered and calm, and not easily triggered by, the result of a negotiation or any of the energies of those with whom I am in the middle of a negotiation. So I'm just providing that as an example. So, just like in general, it's not so much changing the profession of law that is my mission, more that I'm trying to help embolden the spark that everybody has within them, so that they are inspired to seek the remembrance of their godhood. And that is something that I want to do regardless of whether or not people are practicing law or any other discipline in our matrix world, whether it's corporate or anywhere else.
Yeah, it's something that took me a long time to learn, that you just kind of reminded me of is, I think there's definitely, there's easily can be a separation between spirituality, or in this case world peace, and what you do in the day to day. I remember in the beginning, on my path, where I kind of got exposed to this idea of world peace, and of, and I could see for myself it's possible. It was so frustrating to me that I know, oh my God, world peace is possible. We're meant to achieve it. But then I went to work and I just really feel frustrated by the politics, or, whatever was my perception, right?
Mhm.
And definitely at this point, I can relate to what you're saying is about, you can be peaceful and joyful in everything that you do. And doesn't matter, what you perceive, like what I perceive or you perceive the task or the work to be. The point is to bring peace into it, and that's, if you can be peaceful no matter what, that is world peace. That is a peace that can build world peace.
Right. And you know to your point about it, us, it not mattering, not mattering what it is that we're doing in the um in the matrix, it's being able to inspire others, whoever they are, to also ask questions about, hey, you know what are you doing? How is it that you're, I've been asked this, what is it that you're doing? How is it that you are able to remain calm? I've had colleagues ask me this, who themselves are also lawyers. I've had physicians ask me this. They're asking why I'm so calm. And through those conversations I have with them, it leads to other conversations like, oh, well, it is the modern mystery school and the things that I have learned through through the school. And it's through those conversations I have and these interactions with people of every discipline, I've been able to inspire them also to seek these modalities to help them so that they can heal themselves and be empowered to use those tools to facilitate world peace.
That's amazing. And that's again, that's how it works, right? You do the work on yourself, you clean yourself up, and then you hold up that light, that honor, that high values. You hold up that peace, and then it's from there where people will look at you and be like, "Hey, I want that, whatever it is
Right.
that you do, because I
Yeah.
want the result, right?" I mean, we in the mystical school we also teach, by the fruit you shall know, right?
Mhm.
So you do something, and if you keep doing something but the result, you don't like the result, you don't like the light that you get, the reaction that you get from it probably means that you have a change. But then, so I think that's, for me, that was a big thing about the MMS tool, is that the more I keep doing them, the better my life got.
Yeah, I have to say, if I sat across the person I was 6 years ago, of course I would still love her, but if I sat across that person, our energies are completely different. I think who I was 6 years ago was someone who was really withdrawn, and I had a lot of wounds, and I had a lot of misconceptions about what my relationship with God should be, who God actually was. So, those are things that I had to heal within me. And yeah, through all this healing over the past 6 years, and even, shortly after that life activation, there were like results in me 6 months out, 1 year out was already profound. And like you said, the fruit of the things that I have learned on this path, they're undeniable. And it's those fruits that people are inspired to ask about. Because if I have to be living proof of the things that I have learned and have been taught. And yeah, I love representing the what is awesome about this work.
So, Lori, I've known you, I think, for like at least 3 years. And then you've been the
Wow, yeah.
right at least 3 years.
It's like 3 years. It's like a million years
I
on our
know.
path with
Especially yeah,
all the
million years
training.
ago. Many lifetimes ago.
Yeah.
And also with COVID too, right? It feels like it's been
Yeah.
forever ago. And you've also been our study group leader for the Universal Kabbalah program, which is a
Mhm.
10-month ascension programs that we have in the mission school. To me, just a little bit side note, to me, that program is like the best personal development program I've
100%.
ever done. And I know I will keep doing it over and over again. And
Yeah.
Laura, I know you've done it. How many times have you done it?
So I'm in the middle of my fourth Kabbalah tree ascension, and I'm about to start my fifth this December. It is really the one of the most life-changing things I've ever done. And it came really, I want to say by accident, but we know there are no accidents on this path. Shortly after I went to Empower Thyself, so after the life activation, I was walking out of the office of that practitioner. I saw a flyer for an Empower Thyself initiation, and so I went to Empower Thyself. Learned who God is, and the learn more about the path. And I think while I was walking out of the office again, another time I saw another flyer for Universal Kabbalah, and yeah, I took it once, and I think until my last breath, I'm going to be taking until my last breath on this planet, I'll be taking Kabbalah. It is really the most transformative learning, the learning that I received on this path. Yeah.
For sure. I mean, it can be very intense, right? It depends on where you are and it depends on who you are, but it can be very intense. But
But joyful nonetheless. Yeah.
I
Very
would
joyful.
I would rather do it and just kind of like just really deal with my SHIT and get better from it than not face it, right? So I love Kabbalah, and we're lucky also to have an instructor in the area now. So that's
Yeah.
great. Yeah.
Yeah. My guide, Erin Wallace, she is fantastic. And yeah, yeah. I love being on the tree with her leading the class, and it's really amazing.
So we got sidetracked a little bit, which is great, because I can always talk about Kabbalah. Um, so I've known you for at least 3 years, and one of the things I admire the most about you, Lori, is how you're able to stay in your heart and just really treat the people around you as the gods and goddesses that they are, even when sometimes they may not be very kind. So and to me that is, again, that's part of creating that ripple effect where you heal yourself, you become better, and you hold that light, and then you treat others, people, as as who they really are, which in the mission school we know that we're all gods and goddesses.
Mhm.
How do you do that? It's
So yeah, it's really, I mean, everyone knows the golden rule, right? Do unto others. And when I approached the school over 6 years ago, I was in a really, really, hard emotional place, and I didn't know who I was yet. And I had a crushed foundation that I didn't know I was about to rebuild. But when I found the school and I stepped foot on the path, I was accepted with loving arms. I was accepted in a manner that was not judgmental, and by someone who treated me with compassion and respect. and really took me as I was and met me on the path where I was in my own life. And because I was treated with that kind of love and compassion, it is an inspiration to me to treat others that way, because people are going to end up finding this path from all walks of life in whatever stage they are in their life, whether it's, you know, like me, where I found it after I was in a really like traumatizing breakup. Or, maybe someone's experienced a death in the family. You just never know where they are in their lives. And so, I want to make sure that I treat those people and really everyone with as much love and compassion as my guide treated me when I found the path. And as the path gets more advanced and we take these classes, those who are training us, as we continue our progression, continue to treat us with this much love and compassion, patience, and real awareness about where we are, and they meet us where we are on the path. So I would imagine that never ends, and I too want to be that way for others.
Yeah, that is how you pass a baton,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
I'd also share the same experience that, I came into the school and I've met only love and support, and and then I got to meet other teachers when
Yeah.
I went to Healers Academy and Ritual Master, and it's just been constant nonstop of not be people like the lack of judgment, and also nonstop of kindness and compassion, as well as in a way tough love, right? And then yeah, and then so there's that, and also at some point we all have to learn to accept ourselves and others as imperfect beings. So hey, everyone's doing their best. Sometimes they may do things that um, like I may do things that are not as good, yeah, that's not as kind, but that's just most likely because they don't know. And so it's something that now, as we both became guides recently, I think it's really really helpful to one, to be inspired to pay that forward, to pay it forward, to pay that kindness and that compassion forward, and at the same time accepting, well, taking responsibilities for what we do, the action that we take, but also accepting the fact that hey, we're trying our best, and as long as we try our best.
Yeah, I mean, we could look at it another way. It's not so much that we're imperfect beings. If perfection is seeking to progress always in the light and to always uh, do our best in knowing ourselves, knowing thyself, if that is what we're doing on this earth, then it could be explored that in and of itself, the effort in and of itself is perfection. So yeah.
That is true. That is true. Perfection does need to be redefined. Good catch. Lori, it's been so nice talking to you. I do have one. I mean, there's so many things I could ask you. We can talk about this
All
for
day long,
hours.
right?
We can go on and on.
Yeah,
Um, but I gotta stop somewhere, and hopefully, if I could invite you again, and maybe talk about other focuses.
sure.
Yeah, thank you. But before we end, so what are some of the words of wisdom that you have, Lori, for those who want to create lasting positive changes in the world, but may be a little bit stuck at this moment?
My biggest advice for those who are looking for change in their life and are seeking a path in which they can do that in themselves and for the rest of the world is to empty their cup. And by that, I mean, approach, what helped me the most was approaching this life and all the learnings that I've received through the Modern Mystery School, with the knowledge that there's so much to learn if I acknowledge that my cup is empty, and I don't know everything. It's liberating to acknowledge that, because through that acknowledgement, when we get all this flow of information, especially me, when I get this flow of information through the classes and the healings, all that flow has somewhere to go, and I can receive it. So it doesn't matter how much schooling we've gone through. It doesn't matter if you've gone to graduate school, 18 years of practice in law, none of that matters. What mattered was that once I emptied the cup, I received and was able to take in what I needed so that I could help myself and others.
We have, I mean, I don't know if it's we, but I know I have this running joke that, we would just get a class and the teacher will ask, why did you sign up for this class? And I would have no idea why.
Yeah,
Like, I
it's
just
just
wanted to be here.
I don't know about the class. I don't know what the teachings are yet, and why not? Why not? It's something I haven't learned. It hasn't been taught to me. How amazing that I get to learn something new.
Yeah, and as
Yeah,
long as it's something you want to take from your heart, right? Like, I
fantastic.
think
Yeah,
it's so happens so usual that I just see some class and I'm like, sounds interesting. I'm intrigued. My heart, like, I want to take it. I don't know why I want to take it. And then I will get there, completely empty cup, and just absorb all the information, all the rituals, and I'll be like, that's why I want to take that
yeah,
class, right? It's kind of like after the fact when you really understand why your heart desire that way.
yeah.
Thank you, Lori.
Thank
And
you.
so, for whoever that's watching or listening to this interview, and they love you, and they're interested in working with you, how and where can they find you?
Sure, they can email me at Lorie at templeelement.com. That's LORIE at templeelement.com.
Cool, thank you. And I'll add that to the video as well as the description of the video.
All right. Thank you so much,
Thank you,
Lindsay.
Lori. It
It
was
was an
nice
honor. Thank
chatting
you.
to you, and I hope to see you again soon.
Yeah, we'll see each other soon.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.